lab has a button making machine and we're not afraid to use it. Alec Bosse is not only our next presenter, but one of the co-founders of Wishbone. He will be talking about the power of these shiny little orbs. It's a short presentation because at the end he will be providing a step-by-step tutorial and will print out sample buttons ranging in size from 1 inch all the way up to 2 1/4 inches, ready for backpack pinning and distribution. So let's button it.
Hey everybody. So you're going to be hearing a lot of the same, to be honest. It's extremely handy to always have buttons in your pocket, right? Same way that you can have keychains, you can have cards, you can have buttons. For the longest time, I used to keep, 50 or so 1-inch buttons in my hand, and anytime I went to any activism, I'd be going out and saying, hey, you're vegan, here, have a vegan button. And it's amazing because not only is it a way to do outreach, you can have you're too cute to be eating animals pin in your pocket, or you can have, kiss me I'm vegan, or whatever you want. You can have no fur, whatever, buttons in your pocket to give out. But it's very easy for someone who maybe doesn't want to actually be speaking out and doing activism, but they can easily be wearing a button. It can be going onto their jacket, onto their backpack, etc., and able to send out a vegan message without having to actually directly interact with the public. But it's a really simple and easy way to do activism. So you can have a backpack chock full of buttons. You can have pockets full of buttons that you can give out so that if anybody says, oh, I really like your button. Oh, here, have a button. It's a great way to do advertising. It's a great way to simply have vegan messaging easily put together. Now, how do you make your buttons? What generally I do is you need to have some kind of vector art program. I use one called Inkscape, and inside Inkscape, I have all of our programs, all of the button sizes laid out. So here in the Analytics lab, we have things set up to do 1 inch, 1 1/4 inch, 2 inch, 2 1/4 buttons here. And I'll just pull up some samples here. Now, things that I've learned along the way, and Sue kind of mentioned it earlier, is you want to keep in mind how large of a button are you working on and how much data can you put in there. This here looks like a great button, but it doesn't easily show up when it's only a 1-inch button. So these are things that you want to keep in mind, a little bit of testing and experimentation. So simple messages work great, graphics work great. If it's something that's only a 1-inch button, you want to make sure that you can read it at a glance. So something like this no fur button, the vegan logo works really great. Something like this one up here, I found it's a really great message, but it's way too small to actually be able to read on a 1-inch button. If you wanted to do that message, you would probably want to consider again and make it maybe a 2 1/4 inch button so that somebody can actually read it. So I have all of these buttons available for, the blanks available for anyone that wants to print them. We have these PDFs available for individuals, as well as blank blueprints for individuals that want to make them in the various sizes. I have vector art graphics that you can open up in Illustrator, or I personally use Inkscape because it's free and available on Windows and Linux and Macintosh, and anybody can use it. It's open source, so you don't have to pay anything for amazing software. And I have those available in SVGs as well as PDFs for you. And one of the other ones that I have is, if you look really closely at this picture here, this is for a 2 1/4 inch button. And these are just completely blank ones where you have a very, very faint line around the outline. This is your sort of area that you're working in, and this is the area for the cut. And we'll show in the demonstration afterwards that you have to actually wrap around the edge of the button, so you need to keep that in mind when you're designing your buttons. So the templates that I will provide to anybody that signs up to our Wishbone mailing list, I can send you copies of it, show the area as well as along the edge. If you get really fancy, you can take the time. Let's see here. And you can know right here where it says Wishbone's AR Lab, this is designed so that when you print it, it literally rides on the edge of the button right here saying Wishbone AR Lab, so that you can have your messaging here, and then on the bottom edge here, if anybody's interested in it, when they have it, they can read it. So it's something that you need to keep in mind. It takes a little bit of work to do these types of things, but you can very easily take any of your graphics. So if somebody has their favorite graphic on a pen drive right now, after the workshop, I'm more than happy to help them set up. I've got some templates. I've got some blank templates that we can use some markers and make some buttons right now by hand, as well as I'm happy to make a custom button for individuals as we do this. But some of the buttons that we have, I've got a couple vegan D&D ones, a vegan enabler, as well as some Wishbone ones, and then really good ones are very simple ones that are very easy to read, so things like the no fur button. So here I've got, I've got a no fur, no leather, no wool, no fur, no feather, no wool, no leather. Very simple messages that can easily make a button that can go onto your jacket to draw attention to it. You're not lactose intolerant, you're just not a baby cow. Keep calm, go vegan. You are personally responsible for becoming more ethical than the society you grew up in. This is probably would be obviously too small for a 1-inch button, but on a 2 1/4-inch button, it's just big enough that it might catch somebody's attention to give it a read. Eating animals is a choice, then why choose to be cruel? It's all very simple messages, something that's going to be catchy, that even if the person doesn't take the button with them, it might stick in the back of the head and kind of be a splinter in the back of your mind, scratching at you to make you think, why am I making the choices that I'm making? And honestly, it's that simple. Keep buttons in your pockets, make them. Anybody that wants to schedule time, we can schedule a time here in the lab that individuals can come in and help lay out buttons, as well as make a whole bunch of buttons. We can do button making parties here in the lab where we've got a number of people doing the different parts. One person sitting there cutting, one person that is stacking them together, one person that's designing them, one person that's handling the printing them out. And we can spend a couple hours and have handfuls and handfuls of buttons that you can then be wearing, giving out to your other friends and other activists, and giving out to the public. And honestly, it's that simple. As Sue mentioned, at the end, we will be doing a demonstration of it if anyone who is interested in it. And that's about that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for your kind attention. There are no doubt thousands of simple ways that we can stand up for our beloved animal friends. Here today, we've touched on just a handful of them, so I hope through this mini workshop, you will be encouraged to incorporate these easy-peasy everyday tips. And finally, just to mention that Wishbone Animal Rights Lab is a volunteer-driven, largely self-funded initiative. Donations allow us to host more community-building events, develop more programming, conduct more workshops, create more content, purchase more equipment and literature, and cover our monthly art costs. The begging portion is over. Thank you again. I really appreciate everybody.